it just, if I'm looking at Cheddar Kung Power behind the camera, he's holding it like this. It looks like he's filming our balls. Why are you filming?
Why wouldn't he? Better question.
Yeah.
I know what people want to see.
So we are.
I heard balls.
I told him to jump in when it gets interesting. It got interesting fast.
We've got some mics. This one's for you.
Oh, you guys are always so organized with the technical
And this one's for me.
stuff.
I didn't bring one for you.
Whose channel is this for?
I don't know. I don't know. That guy at the back. His channel over there, look.
So we're here with, how do you say, I always say Suhr because that's a very German way to say it. How do you say the brand name?
I say Suhr, but it's probably not correct.
You know, because some people say Suhr, but that's like Suhr as in you've been knighted, you know?
I say Suhr guitar.
Suhr guitars, yeah, that's about
Suhr
right,
guitars,
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're here at that booth. Where do you have to go?
Over there.
Why? Where are you going?
I mean, I'm loving the time of Pete, but frankly,
He's got other things to do.
There's one too many people here. You know what I'm saying?
He's got places to be, man.
Well, how about you come back when it gets good?
All right, okay. Right, you're doing fine.
Okay. Not so good?
Nah.
Bye, Andy. Bye. So, I don't even know if we need this. We have this beautiful Sennheiser MKH418P48.
Well, let's use this too, and then at least we'll be out of phase. It's cool.
Yeah, then you have to phase align.
Yeah, I know.
Just like, by the way, when you're miking an amp, that's also using IRs, because the IRs will be later. So when you mix them together, don't do that unless you've actually moved the phase perfectly on top of each other.
Used to be the DI would be earlier, right? If you use a standard DI in the analog world, it gets there earlier than the mic.
I'm not that old.
Because it's super fast. You're not that? Oh, God. Did I really just do that? I just
I'm sorry,
dated myself.
I'm sorry. No, you've just recorded a lot more with the I than I have.
Well, yeah, if you do a standard DI out of like bass guitar, and then you mic an amp too, the DI gets there sooner because it's like quicker than the microphone.
It would have to go through the amp and all that stuff.
Everybody's clicked off this video by now. They're all bored.
Has he got any better? Is it any better?
Well, I'm enjoying it, but I don't think anybody else out there will. They're going to be bored with our conversation.
Just checking. Hi, everybody.
Back to IRs.
Yeah.
So that's your thing right now. You're an IR.
Well, with the amplifier, which you can see behind me here, you know, the deal is I call it modeling the back end. It's basically a 3-channel all-tube amp.
The rump.
Yeah, the rump. Modeling the mic and the cab stuff, so that what you can do is have this, you know, it's 24.5 pounds, reasonably light, 3-channel all-tube amp that you can still plug into a cabinet, but you can get some of the features of all the modern, you know, modeling stuff and all that. The nice stuff like no volume, maybe playing through headphones, running direct, having 16 different cab sounds and all that stuff. We're trying to make a tube amp that's usable in any situation.
Well, that's,
You know?
I mean, with the Kempers and the Helixes and all that stuff, we want what we like, which is tube, but we want it convenient. Now, we know each other, right?
Yeah.
You know me.
By now.
Give me a hug, because this is going to get, for the fans, it's going to get slightly uncomfortable, because I'm going to put my reviewer hat on, okay?
I'm here with Chris Buck. we just got Patrick Eggle in the back, so I'm just down here. Sorry, Pete. And Chris and I were talking about
How
hair.
are you doing?
Not too bad, thank you.
You're now
hair.
on HP42.
Sorry, Pete.
That's a better channel than this channel.
Yeah.
Do you know that Chris didn't brush his hair today?
We've been sharing. It's the two most inadequate, sort of ill-prepared people in the world to discuss hair tips. Myself and Andy. So,
But he always looks good.
I think
He always looks great.
with all the best will in the world, probably aren't equipped either. I think we should throw this one over to Pete.
This is all mousse.
It is.
Dude, I'm in an awkward
This is
grow
almost-
stage right now, so don't talk to me.
So,
were
before we
we?
were rudely interrupted, I said, I'm going to put my reviewer hat on.
Yeah.
And independent of our friendship and how much I respect you,
Yes.
I'm going to ask some questions about this amp.
Okay.
Which I mean,
Yeah.
all I know about your amp, I've never actually played it, the big one.
Yeah.
I know the UAD version, which is actually a brilliant version of it, I
Yeah,
think. It's-
Brainworks.
it's-
The guys at
Yeah,
Brainworks.
Dirk Ulrich and his team.
Yeah.
It is, for how much you pay for it, this is a very, very good tool.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah.
So I haven't played this or anything, but looking at it, I've got one or two, let's say, concerns as a consumer, and
Okay.
don't want to throw salt in the whole thing, but
Yeah, no.
this thing is retailing in Germany for 3,100 euro.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a lot.
30.99. $3,099. So let's be fair. That €1.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, that'll really feed your family now. It's that's a pretty steep price point for a 15 watt amp. Whatever
the
you
deal-
throw in there, I mean, in terms of, sorry for interrupting, but IR in all the channels, but it
Yeah.
is a 15 watt amp
Yeah.
for over $3,000. Now you.
Okay, so the deal with the price of the amp is that they just choose to make things in California and have, for instance, the Haber transformers. Nothing's offshore transformers or anything like that. And so when we're sitting in like John's office, tweaking stuff, right? And doing stuff, the line where the amp is made is literally outside his glass door. We can walk out there and there's guys sitting there doing everything and building the amps. You know, all the parts are sourced from, you know what I mean? It's all, basically what I'm getting at is we don't get boards stuffed overseas or any of that kind of stuff.
I get that.
And to build things in California because of all it's a tough state to actually build in because of regulations. We're also dealing with, you know, there's things like tariffs happening now and all that stuff on electronic parts. So it kind of is what it is. But John just will not compromise on the quality, and he won't compromise on things like transformers, like going to small ones or
that a lot of the sound is in the transformer.
Yeah, so it's the true, you know, the Haber, you know, transformers and all that good stuff, and all the parts. It's the same, you know, it's just what it costs. It's the price of doing business, kind of in California.
It is a tough sell though.
Yeah. I get that, but we like to think that it's like. It's a boutique amp product. It's not you're not going to find it, you know, in Center or some Guitar Center or that kind of thing. You know, it's the way that he chooses to make things, and I respect it. And you know, we all wish. I mean, I wish we could do it for, you know, a different price and have it still built the same way in the factory in California. But this is the way that it is these days.
And then looking at features, it's got IRs, which I think someone told me get saved with the channel. So if you switch channels, you can go to a different cab.
Yeah, no, that's right. So the deal is with let's talk about that for a second, and I'll sort of segue from the cost to that. You've got the true Suhr reactive load with all the impulse response stuff from the Suhr reactive load built in. Okay, so that unit, I believe in the States, is $599, $600. So that stuff, the actual reactive load, Kevin Suhr spent ages figuring out how to miniaturize it and actually get it inside the amplifier. It sounds identical to the big one. Mm-hmm. So we've taken this, basically the $600 box, and loaded it into the amplifier. So you've got all that same stuff. So that adds, of course, right? Because it's a big part of the feature set and stuff.
Knowing all the load boxes, IR loaders and all that stuff, and of course, like, you know, the torpedo and the aux and all these things.
Yeah.
I look for certain things, and especially in a live product, where's the MIDI on it?
That was one thing that actually with the PT100, because it's MIDI, PT100 has MIDI switching, we just went, it's the one thing nobody ever brings up on the PT100. Is
because it has it. I mean, why bring it up if it's there?
Yeah, it was just like a feature that people were like, MIDI, I don't know, I just never heard about it.
Maybe not about the channels, but for the IRs. Because I mean...
Well, so the IRs in the amplifier, you're right, you can store per channel, right? Mm-hmm. So you can do one on the clean channel, one on the dirty rhythm, one on the lead channel, and have your favorite IR stored in there. So basically it's like this. Let me show you really quick. So this is a clean channel right here. I say this is a greenback IR with a 121 and 57 and a 412 on it. If I want an open back, because that is kind of what I want on a clean channel, I go here and I simply push this like this. It's going to blink. Channel LED is going to blink. Now it's going to store that. So now I've got that IR stored on that channel. Okay, if I go to channel 2 or 3, let's say on here I want a V30 loaded cabinet. I can simply go like this, store my V30 like that, go over to my dirty rhythm channel, and say I want a greenback IR on this one. Oops. And the guitar's on, so it's giving us some music while we're doing this. Okay, so now I've stored 3 different cabinet sounds. You'll notice when I go to that it switches when I go to the different channels, to the different impulse responses. Okay? As far as I'm concerned, it's like taking 3 cabinets to the gig. One for your clean, one for your dirty rhythm, one for your lead. How much more could you want in playing live? So, and it's through traditional switching and no MIDI.
Yes, I'm running out of reasons why MIDI is important, but my point is, it's so dirt cheap to put a MIDI module in there. I mean, a MIDI module isn't the cheapest $20 keyboard.
So it's really to be honest,
it's literally not for over $3,000.
Yeah.
It's literally not something that would drive the cost up. But that's just my point.
The simplicity of having this guy just with the TRS standard foot switch. A lot of people, I just wasn't hearing the need for the MIDI, to be honest. You can use it with any standard, amp foot switch, and you're going to be able to switch. Standard
Well,
3-button.
but here's the thing. What
that was
if
my
I have a
choice.
pedal board and I've got a whole preset on my pedal board?
Yeah, but every pedal switcher these days has what? Control switching jacks, right? Even the Helix has that stuff.
Stop making points that are reasonable.
I thought of all this. I did. It's like they've all got control switching jacks in them. You don't
I'm
need
Pete
it.
Thorn. I know things and I'm right about stuff. God damn it.
MIDI schmiddy. No, I thought about
Okay,
it all.
I take that. MIDI schmiddy.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point, Pete Thorn. MIDI schmiddy.
Now, something else about it. A lot of people have asked me about the output for the line out to go to the PA or to a recording interface, because it's got a balanced line out, but it's TRS. It's not XLR. A lot of people were like, "Why'd you do that?"
Yes, I would absolutely bitch about that.
Okay, well, here's why. Because every recording interface these days has what? A TRS line level in for the line levels. If you plug into a UA interface on the XLRs, it defaults to mic.
Yes.
Then you got to use a pad because the output's nice and line level and hot on here. So why are we going to do that? And not only that, you can use a standard guitar cable, 1/4-inch cable, coming out if in a pinch, and just go to a DI if you want, or come out.
Why not have both?
There's not enough room on the back of that amp. If you look, it just isn't enough room. So we went TRS because I thought I'm always looking for would it be a male XLR to TRS to use on these things that have DI out.
That's
to
annoying.
XLR, and it's annoying. You can use a standard guitar cable or just grab 1/4-inch TRS to TRS. You're going to be able to plug right into line input on any recording
Something
interface.
that I'm gonna deeply rip into when I'm doing my reviews of the Boss Waza TAE, which has a lot of good features, but it has no digital out. And that is something that in an IR loader I want to see, especially in the higher price range. And the guy from Boss said, well, but why? You can just go into your audio interface. And I'm saying, well, wait a second. I'm taking my beautiful guitar signal, which is all high-end, and I'm sending it into the A to D converter inside the amp, where it gets converted digitally. Why then take it back to analog to then take it back to digital? That doesn't make sense. If I'm already in the numbers world, I would like to stay in the numbers world.
It's a nice feature having a digital out. Yeah, we don't have that on here either. It's just the straight TRS out, but we figure most people are going to they want an analog out to run into, like I say, straight into a recording interface, or maybe for live. You're not going to need a digital out.
For live, absolutely not. But as a studio tool, hey, that was an honest answer. Yeah, it doesn't. But I'm just critical. I'm just trying to find the things to bitch about. We're not going to go into how great it's a Suhr amp. They're great. I had a Badger. That's a killer amp, and it's based on your PT100, which is a great amp. So people will go like, well, you're just criticizing. No, I'm not going to go into the positive stuff because you already all know the positive stuff. I'm trying to put my hat on for the people to think about, all the ins and outs.
Well, long and the short of it, my spiel is basically like, this is a tube amp that you can use anywhere. It's got a headphone jack built on the front. So, for example, here, this is a quiet show. So, in other words, they don't let no volume on this floor happen. But we've got an amp that you can play through in this booth, because you can literally just plug in a set of headphones right into the front of it and play. So imagine a tube amp that you can use in your hotel room or backstage to warm up. Sit there, play through headphones, right? Now you can take
I could be such an ass and say, I don't have to imagine it, I have one. But we're not going to go there.
Is it a tube amp?
Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
I don't. Which one?
I have
Which one?
The D20.
Yeah, okay, so the D20...
I don't have to imagine it. I literally have 4 of them at my house right now.
And the Rev folks are great, and I'm sure it's a very nice amp. I haven't played it, actually, but it's kind of a different amp in that it's
completely different. It's a one-channel thing. This is your amp with IRs.
Yeah.
This is...
Different
the D20's idea is you have to have pedals. This is a pure pedal platform, period.
Yeah.
The Torpedo is established, and I love the Torpedo for the software, for the moving the mics.
Sure.
But the concept is different because this is your sound, this is 3 channels, and yeah, you might want to put some effects on it, but the amp can survive on its own. The D20 on its own is not it. You want pedals, you want to put stuff, that's the idea.
And also the way that which 2 Notes, I'm good friends with those folks too, and they've been in this game a long time. They were pioneers in it. And they've kind of taken a different approach with their cabs, the store, the online store, and a lot of options and miking and all that stuff. With this system, it's a much simpler, it's basically like you've got your 16 IRs built. Yes, you can load in more if you want by just plugging a USB, go to the desktop.
But the IR is the IR. The way it was recorded is it.
That's right.
You don't move mics around.
Yeah, so there's one I would say that's for a little bit more folks that want to tweak and get deep inside and stuff like that. There's a lot of options. And then if you just like simplicity, it's like apples and oranges. There's different options, and they're both good options, I think. The simplicity versus
exactly. I'm not. Given the different price points and the different approaches, one isn't better than the other.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of Suhr amps and you want an all-in-the-box thing, and you want to spend the money, we got to say that, then this is a great option. The Rev is cheaper, but it gives you a clean channel and a slightly cranky channel, and that's it.
Right.
So,
Different products.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also different colors.
Yeah. That's right.
This is
Different
black,
look.
yeah, and the Rev is different color.
Yeah.
So,
but I gotta finish my. So I was talking about the headphones, right? You can do that. Use the headphones. Then you can take this thing out, plop it on a cab on stage, plug in a cab if you want. It's optional. Or you could just take a line out right to the PA in front of house, and you've got that consistent, awesome tone in the PA, night after night. So what I'm getting at is it's a tube amp that you can use anywhere. We were trying to make a tube amp that you could use in the hotel room, for recording at home, take to the gig and plug into the cab. Don't have to mic the cab, though, unless you want to. You got all these options.
it's not quite the convenience of a Helix in terms of size and weight and all this, but it's getting there.
It's close. Yeah.
But it's also, no offense to the nice folks at Yamaha, where I'm going to be later today doing the contest with the Helix. It's also not a Helix.
Yeah,
A Helix is great for what it is, but this is a real tube amp.
That's right. And you know what I love about the Helix? And actually on my current clinic tour, I'm using HX Effects, which is a Helix without the amp modeling. One thing I love about Line 6 in the Helix is that they made it to actually integrate with amps as well as be a modeling unit. And they're brilliant because they weren't trying to get you to completely sell your amps and go that way. It's a great unit that you can use. I mean, going back 2-3 years, I did a gig with my Helix and the PT100 running at 4-cable method. So I've got a pedal board that actually is built with the Helix with a few pedals in the loops, and I've got it set up for 4-cable to use with an amp.
That's what I love on the Helix, the 4 loops and the easy integration of the analog world and the digital world.
Yeah.
They didn't want to build a thing, look, it's all ours, don't use anything else.
Exactly.
And that's looking at the ins and outs on it, it's very clearly made for anything you want to throw at it.
That's right.
Yeah, by itself, it's decent in certain situations, but combined with other gear, that's, I think, where it really shines.
And the HX Effects that I've been using out on my clinic tour with this, I've found it to be such a capable partner for the amp because it easily channel switches the amp using that. Once again, it's got control jacks, right? So I just hook it up to the amp and it'll one TRS cable and I can switch all 3 channels and it just sounds great with the amp. I'm using a 4-cable, running some compression, a little bit of drive for one sound in front of the amp as well as a fuzz.
Nobody needs fuzz, by the way.
Oh, come on. It's my favorite. I love fuzz pedals. But anyway, it's great. So give props to the Line 6 guys for making something cool that integrates with this amp,
Also, we have to say, Suhr make nice guitars. They're over there. You can buy those as well.
Hey, we got to say this. Because nobody's seen one of these yet in person, most people, because there just ain't that many of them, but that's the Aura up there, which is John's,
But I'll have to sell Leslie into slavery to buy one of those. How much are they?
I don't know in the European Union.
How much in the US?
You know what? I'm not actually sure. It's up around.
You're not actually Suhr?
I'm not actually sure. I think it's 8 to 9 grand, something like that. But John finishes every single. He spends like 2.5 days on every single one, finishing the frets and doing. So he's literally counting in the frets, doing all the. You know what I mean? He does every single one, which is why they're taking time to get out there because he won't. Do you know the story about? You want me to tell you a good story about John?
Go.
He got fired from his first real job as a luthier for working at a store in New Jersey and taking too long to do fret dresses. Yeah, the guy said, "John, you got to get these guitars done faster. Like we're not, And John's like, "This is how long it takes to do it right." And so the guy fired him. Okay, so now he's fired. He's got no job. He gets a job in New York City doing something else, but I don't know what. So he moves to the city. And the job falls through. Now he's got no job and he's got an expensive place in New York City. Doesn't know what to do, right? So he goes out and gets a job as a short order cook, like cooking breakfast at a place.
That probably took too long as well.
Actually, he was really good at it, evidently. He showed up and there was a line of people down the block that needed their eggs and pancakes made and stuff. And the boss said, "Get to work." And he got in there and put on the apron and he went to work making his eggs and pancakes. Okay, this story gets better. So he's working at this place for a while. He works his way up and now he's kind of at the top chef there or whatever, making breakfast for people. And there's another guy that works there underneath him. Well, the boss comes in one day and the boss says, "John, can I get a ham sandwich?" And so John's like, "Yeah, sure." And he tells the other guy, make the boss a ham sandwich, right? He's the guy that was working under him. So the guy makes a ham sandwich, and he slices the ham real thick because he thinks, "Oh, that's good," right? Slices the ham real thick. Well, that evidently ain't the way you make a ham sandwich for this guy. The boss gets his ham sandwich, says, "John, what the hell is this? I don't want this. Like, who made this?" And John says, "Well, whatever the guy's name is, he made it." And he's like, "Fire him. Get rid of him." So John's got to fire this guy. So he fires this guy, but the guy knows it's not John's fault. It's coming from the boss, right? So this guy goes out and gets a job where? Rudy's, because he's a musician too. So Rudy's music, right? And Rudy eventually says, hey, I need a repair guy really bad. And the guy never held a grudge against John. He says, I know a guy. He's working as a cook right now. You know, he's a really good repair guy. And they call him up and come on down, and John gets the job at Rudy's. And that's how he ended up at Rudy's, because of a ham sandwich. Isn't that funny? And the rest is history. Pence's Suhr guitars, you know? And then
Because of a ham. That's why you're here now, because of a ham sandwich.
Yeah, it's true. Because of a ham sandwich, thick cut, bad.
Well, you've heard it here. That's actually a really good story.
I love that story.
We're gonna go and change batteries and all that stuff, because I gotta run to Sennheiser and raffle off things to people. And later I'll be at Yamaha, but you'll see this probably around NAMM, I guess, this video, because that's how I roll. So all this, what I just said, is pointless. Well, thanks, Pete.
Cheers, man.
Thanks for not, jumping at me for being critical, because I need to.
It's good questions. You know, they're questions that a lot of people have, and I like your questions, actually, because they deserve an answer.
Because most people are like, oh, you guys are just paid chills. And then other people are like, are you too critical? What the fuck do you want? Come on.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, you're right. No, it's good. It's good to ask questions, and it's good to be, you gotta, in order to move this thing forward, it's good to have criticism, and know where the areas that people are concerned about,
And that's why we love Pete. Animals at the end.
I wanna bathe in your ocean, I wanna dive in your sea. I can't tell love from devotion when you stand so close to me. Tell me the secret of your eternal beauty, wanna know your potion. I wanna bathe in your sea, I